Hey everybody, this is Tony over Class Eagles. I hope you're having a great day. Something that I think is very important for players to constantly do, throughout their development is work on their juggling and improve their individual footwork with the ball. Um, Although I'm not sure why this is often debated, with coaches in terms of the benefit of juggling and doing footwork. And for me, I'm not really unsure what the debate at when it comes to players doing that and for them helping them improve their level of play. Often coaches will point that, if you can juggle, that's great. Maybe you can get a job in a circus. Doesn't make you a great player, or you can see players doing full work with the ball, and doesn't mean it translates to the game. And on the surface, I understand what they're saying, and it makes sense. And I guess if the only thing a player could do is juggle the ball, yes, they wouldn't be a very good player. If the only thing a player could do is move the ball around with their feet, but they really have no idea how to apply it, that doesn't help them become a better player. But, and I think this is what's odd about the debate, and I think that's missed and glazed over, is that these areas are not every area of a player, but they're fundamental, foundational areas of a player's control and ability with the ball, which is required to continue to grow and develop within the game. I look at it this way: think of your ABCs. You have to know your letters, know what they look like, sounds, and things like that, but you can know that and not know how to read. So I think that's almost the kind of same debate people are saying, was like, you can juggle but you can't play, which, yes, that's true. You can do full work, you can't play. So yes, that's true. Just like if I know the alphabet and I know letters and I know sounds, doesn't mean I can read, but that's required in order to be able to read. So I think it's hard to look at a player in terms of their overall level and say that, hey, improved control wouldn't be able to help you. When it comes to footwork, a key part of a player's ability on the field is how fast can they move their feet and around the ball, with the ball, and keep control. I think there's a ceiling players will hit if that is, if there's a shortage there in their ability to do that. If they're slow with the ball, they can't really move very fast. If the game keeps getting quicker, that's going to be required for them to be able to keep up with the game. You have to be able to move the ball quickly with your feet, using different parts of the feet, being comfortable there at speed. When you train, that's the idea. So when you're doing footwork type of activities with the ball, you're not doing it because if you get better at that, you're going to be better at the game. The idea is that it's a building block to the game. There's many aspects, many areas of a player's development that helps them become a better overall player and understanding how to play the game. But these are fundamental areas that players, when it comes to them hitting ceilings or not continuing to grow. When I work with older players, this is a key part of it. Their foundation, their fundamentals just are not good enough. They're not quick enough with the ball at their feet. They don't have good enough control. There's big gaps in their technical ability, and this is where I think juggling and footwork come into play. When players at a young age are doing this frequently, their confidence, control, and ability with the ball increases so much faster, and it lays such a thick, strong foundation for them to continue to build and learn the game off of. If they only juggle and do full work, yes, they're going to be limited as a player, and that doesn't mean they're going to be very good on the field. But it is absolutely necessary to lay a strong foundation for a player if they're going to continue to grow in the game. So yes, when you see players juggling, it's sometimes great on YouTube, or they're doing like crazy foot skills, and it's a trick that you might not see in the game. And those players, the people you see on YouTube, might be very good with the ball but not be very good with the game. So I get all that and I understand that, but from terms of player development, that area and that sense of control and ability to control is important for them to be able to grow. So I don't think this is really a debate. It's more of that, if you look at it very absolutist, say, does juggling make you a great player? No. But the foundation, the control, and the skills learned from it is, I think, very necessary for a player to continue to grow and develop within the game. And same thing with footwork and the core work that you see players do with the ball. It's foundational work. It helps them be better at other areas of the game. So speaking of YouTube and everything you can find there, and it's absolutely amazing what you can see nowadays, what players and people can do around the world with the ball, whether it's full work with the ball, or juggling tricks. Obviously, I love when players look at that, not because I necessarily want them to do that, but the amount of tools and resources players have to kind of really see what's possible and spark creativity and imagination with the ball. I think that's what a lot of those platforms are, great for, is that when players can see that and say, wow, there's so many other things that, could possibly do with the ball than just what my coaches are teaching me. So I want to just address that because I keep hearing that debate and I keep seeing it go back and forth, about, if it's a waste of time for players, and, when coaches see it, they, kind of turn their nose up at it sometimes and just say that's not important for players. And I just see it differently. I think it's a huge, huge piece of player development, especially, to lay that foundation. I still, when I work with players, I still make them do the footwork and the juggling because there's no ceiling to how good you can be in that area. And I cannot see how you can draw a logical conclusion that as players control and comfort with the ball, or foot speed and control with the ball get better, that won't indirectly help them when they step on the field. So I don't understand how you can make that jump and that leap and say that. I think, it's very important for players to continue to strive to be better in those areas, just like you watch all athletes and all sports, and they continue to work on fundamentals even when they get to the highest levels. And, youth development, young players are no different. So hopefully players will continue to work with the ball, juggle on their own, do the footwork, and there's so many resources out there on their own now, because it's very important for them to continue to grow and develop as players.